Prohaska blows out his shoulder and straight away he gives up his belt. Jamal Hill suffers a horrible injury and straight away he gives up his belt, even though deep down we know that they were stripped. Jon Jones destroys his pectoral muscle and he still has the belt. An interim title fight has been set up between Tom Aspinall and Sergey Spivak. And when Jon Jones comes back, he's going to go straight into a title fight against Stipe Miocic, who has been out and has sat on a loss for 3 years, hasn't fought since March of 2021. Did anything that I just say make any goddamn sense? Are you super confused? Because I am. All I can say here, guys, is lucky we don't do gimmick fights here. That's just not what we do. How can Jon Jones be the heavyweight champ when he would have fought once in a year and a half in the heavyweight division, and he fought Cyril Gane at his debut at heavyweight for like 12 seconds or something. Now he's injured and we call him the heavyweight champ. He's literally been in the heavyweight cage for like less than 3 minutes, honestly, something like that. And then there'll be this interim championship. You'll have a guy, it'll either be Tom Aspinall or Sergey Spivak, both who have been super busy in that division. One of them would have been more active in that division even while suffering a blown out knee. Yeah, that Tom Aspinall would have been more active than Jon Jones even while going through a horrific knee injury. So one of these two guys, right, is going to be the champ, and then while they're the champ, they're going to get looked over for an old guy who's going to instantly retire versus another old guy who's going to instantly retire. Plus, these two, Tom Aspinall and Sergey Spivak, they're very active fighters. And then they're going to become, one of them is going to become the interim winner. And he's either going to be forced to sit out till Jon Jones and Stipe, until that fight actually happens. And then the winner of that circus show is going to have to circle around and get back in the cage and fight our lucky interim championship. And with the rate that Jon Jones and Stipe fight, you could have the interim champ sitting out, not getting paid for over 12 months. What the hell is going on at heavyweight? Now, this video is about Islam Makhachev. And to make my point here, all this mess that is happening at heavyweight is led by the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, the baddest man on the planet. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. The irony, the thing that makes me think of Islam Makhachev so much is that just before the news broke that Jon Jones tore his pectoral, we had a pay-per-view. We had a pay-per-view and Dana White was just gushing over Islam Makhachev and what he said. Islam Makhachev said, "What does this title represent? It means you're the best in the world. And if you're the best in the world, it doesn't matter who is standing across from you." Dana White lost his mind at those comments and says that he wants to pin them up and put them at the UFC Apex so everyone can see them. He wants it to be the quote of the Apex when you walk in there. And that means that when Jon Jones gets back, if he doesn't want to fight the interim champ, strip him. Strip him of the title. Who cares if he wants to fight Stipe? Who cares if that's the only fight that he's going to take? If he's going to be the champion, what does this title represent? It means you're the best in the world. If he doesn't want to fight the interim champ, strip him. Frankly, the moment that Jon Jones's pec tore off his body, to me is the moment that the belt tore away from his waist. He is not an active fighter. Now he has a horrible injury. I hope that he recovers well. I hope that we see him again. I do not want to see who is considered the GOAT of the sport go out with a pec injury. I want to see him go out with a proper fight. But he is not the heavyweight champion today. If Yuri Prohaska wasn't the heavyweight champion and Jamal Hill were the light heavyweight champions, then Jon Jones can't be the heavyweight champion. Like, it's just done. It is what it is. Jon Jones isn't even a natural heavyweight, guys. He has to get in the gym and bulk himself up to be at heavyweight. If he's going to go through this recovery on his pec, how is he going to bench? How is he going to deadlift? How is he going to squat? How is he going to maintain the muscle mass that it requires to stay at heavyweight? Just think about what we've been told and think about what we know and put together the chances of Jon Jones ever actually coming back and fighting the interim champ or a 50-year-old Stipe Miocic for a title. Like, what are we talking about? The entire thing's a mess, yeah? So remove Jon Jones from the rankings for the time being. Sort it out when and if he gets back. remove Stipe from the entire conversation. I've literally considered Stipe Miocic retired since he lost to Ngannou. I've never thought he was going to come back after that. I've never considered him an active fighter. I honestly never thought that the Jon Jones-Stipe fight was ever going to happen. With Jon Jones gone, that means Islam Makhachev is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the UFC. He deserves that recognition. I was actually shocked when the rankings got updated on Tuesday and he wasn't there as #1. He deserves that. He's been more active than Jones. He beat the former #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world and then went ahead and KO'd him in the rematch. That still hurts. He beat the pound-for-pound #4 best fighter in the world. He is considered by many to be an upgrade of Khabib Nurmagomedov. What a name. But Khabib was #1 when he left. So if we have this guy who is Khabib 2.0, then surely he's #1. The loss of Jon Jones and my spirit animal, Alexander Volkanovski, it means that there's only one man left standing. And if Islam Makhachev isn't the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world next Tuesday when the rankings drop, riot. I'd say we mass march on the UFC Apex. I don't think you're allowed to actually call for action on YouTube. I think there should be people. I wouldn't be disappointed if there were people marching on the UFC Apex. It's a bloody disgrace. Islam Makhachev should be the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. It's just, it's rude to say he won it by default, to be honest. Jon Jones is a drug cheat. It's absolutely rude to say that he won it by default, but he absolutely has won it, unfortunately, by default. So give the man his props. Give him his roses while he's here, because he's from Team Khabib. One day he's going to fight and he's just going to retire out of nowhere. You're not going to see it coming. That is how his career is going to end. He's going to win a fight in spectacular fashion and just walk away. So give him his roses while he is here. Guys, let me know down in the comments, what do you think of Jon Jones retaining his #1 pound-for-pound spot over Islam Makhachev? It pisses me off. If you guys have been enjoying these videos, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button down there, and I will see you all in the next one.